it's clear that investing in education is not just a financial commitment, but a pathway to a brighter and more prosperous future for individuals and societies worldwide. Yet, 244 million children worldwide remain out of school. That's nearly half of what was spent on healthcare, but more than double of what was allocated to militaries. Around 40% of the world's population has received some form of secondary education, compared to just 1% in 1950. Education plays a crucial role in shaping the future, yet 244 million children worldwide remain out of school. Let's explore the countries leading in education spending and the impact on global development. Did you know that just under 10% of the global population above the age of 15 lacks formal education? That's a staggering figure, but the good news is that education levels are rising. Around 40% of the world's population has received some form of secondary education, compared to just 1% in 1950. When it comes to schooling years, some countries invest more time than others. Australians, for example, spend an average of 21.1 years in the education system, followed closely by New Zealand and Greece. However, in countries like South Sudan, the average schooling years are significantly lower, highlighting disparities in access to education. Now let's talk money. In 2020, the world collectively invested a staggering $5 trillion in education, equivalent to about 4.33% of the global gross domestic product. To put it into perspective, that's nearly half of what was spent on healthcare, but more than double of what was allocated to militaries. Interestingly, spending on education varies greatly from country to country. High-income nations tend to allocate more funds, with the United States leading the pack at 6.05% of its GDP. In regions like South America and Africa, countries like Bolivia and Namibia prioritize education by dedicating a significant portion of their GDP to it. However, not all countries allocate as much. Pakistan, for instance, spends around 2.1% of its GDP on education, while India allocates 4.3%. Even with regions like Europe, there are disparities, with Greenland investing a substantial 10.5% compared to the European Union's average of 5.13%. As we reflect on these numbers, it's clear that investing in education is not just a financial commitment, but a pathway to a brighter and more prosperous future for individuals and societies worldwide. And that's a wrap for today. Stay ahead of the news cycle by subscribing to Dawn News English.